Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Australian report for the 6th of May, and starting with the ASX on the 4-hour chart here. As you know, I've been looking at wave 3 over here and then looking for wave 4 to pull over here. Now, the US and the European markets have had the same wave 4 pattern as well. Most of them have pulled back down through here, but the Australian market hasn't pulled back down. So it's a little bit tricky because this move here appears to, is a strong case for having 5 waves down through here. So we should get another 5 waves somewhere else. We could count it as an ABC, but it would be like an A wave in here, a B wave up here, and then a C wave down here, which is not unheard of. It's just doesn't really have the right sort of perspective, I guess. So I'm left scratching my head a little bit. I know that the move up to the B wave here, we could count it, as an A and a B and a C and a D and an E wave here to have this wave 4 put in place right here. So that's possible, and that wave C would go there, and a wave D and an E would go here for this. And then we could call this wave 1 up here and pull this back for wave 2 here. So that's all possible. Is it possible to put wave B up here? I guess so, which is not very helpful. You can count 5 waves up to this point here too, but the problem with it is that there's a clear 5 wave move up to this point here or somewhere in here and then back again. So you can get 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here and call this wave 1, but you've got that real overlap here, so it doesn't really sort of meet very well. So we talked about going long above that high in case I was wrong. So that's triggered in. Now the situation here really is that it's looking quite bullish, isn't it? So obviously yesterday we had resources and banks move to the upside. Well, CBA, not so much ANZ. But the main point here, I guess, is that the 7,000 is now the support. It's the support because in the first instance over here, we had swings across it until it established itself. But then we've taken out this high here, and I was a bit reluctant about doing that, going for a long trade there, because we were looking for a B wave to move down, C wave to move down for wave 4. But this time around, this is getting a little bit sort of big now for this. So we can see that it's the second time it's taken out this a high above the 7,000. So we really need to run with that. So how to count this here for wave 4? Do we put it here or do we put it over here for this? I haven't really resolved that yet. I'm probably a bit more comfortable with this one here, but I'll just dull that out. It's some... we'll have to come back to it at, whoops, dulled the wrong one. Still the wrong one, but I'll put that back. There we go. Dull that out a bit. So we'll keep pondering this, but yeah, a sort of point to here and to here, so to speak, with that. Something like that for a wave 4 to come in here. So I'm a little bit unsure. Just going into the hourly chart here, I have labeled it as a triangle pattern because that's the pattern we're actually working with the S&P 500 as well, even though that this one here would be leading. Now the important thing here is that we had a trigger above here, so you may be long. And if you are long, then we need to understand, we can see here that we'll look at this as wave 1 here, and 2, a nice strong third wave here, some sort of 4th and 5th wave here. So if the market was going to pull back here, then this is the 50-60% retracement level. So we would need to leave, let's copy that for a moment, we would need to leave the stop out of the way here for the time being. Oops, daisy. Now Thursday can be a bear day. It can open high and close lower, so we need to be mindful of that. But then in the bullish weekly cycle, we look for Friday and Monday to be bullish. So with Thursday, what I kind of look for is some strength to come into the market a little bit later in the afternoon session. It could come a little bit earlier, but in that afternoon session. Yeah, so I think the trick really is to look to go long on the Friday and the Thursday afternoon if you can see that the market has, let's just say that the market opens high and closes lower for the day. It's in the afternoon session. I mean, technically we should be looking for an ABC pattern like this. And then if that's the case, we're also looking for the US markets to push off as well. So we can, if it pops down through here, then look to build back in on group 2 here and then continue to the upside, and we'll be able to look at this as, I'm just assuming that's 1 and 2 into this space. So the takeaway here is just coming back to the 4-hour chart. The main point here is that we can all really see visually now that this has really become the support, and it's leaving the support now. So Thursday could chuck a little bit of a spanner in the works, but by pulling back a bit, but then we should be pushing up from that point. We'll be looking up at wave 3 there next, put wave 4 and wave 5. So heading higher, and also to remember that it's going to be could be a little bit rough around this number here, the 7,200, the 72 number. It's the old COVID high as well. So yeah, but we do have a nice support now. We do have a really good accumulation process from here all the way to here. So we should end up making new highs for the market, which will also attract new money into the market as well. And I think CBA made a new high yesterday as well. So let's check out the banks. So with the banks, look at CBA, we'll look at ANZ first because it pulled back. So with ANZ, the takeaway here, I guess, is that we're still in wave 4. And we've got an ABC for the A wave, an A and a B and a C for the B wave. And now we're looking down as we can label this now. We talked about the B wave possibility yesterday, and we can see that it's really come in here now. So we'll just check that on 5 waves coming down for wave 3 and wave 4. And then we need to look at this wave 5 here for this, and then we should start to see that move up from there. So we'll look to trade that on the Friday tomorrow to the upside. And CBA was a different story. It popped to the upside. So I think that this is the daily chart, not the tick chart. So we can look at this now as wave 4 being in play here with this, and looking at this as 1 and 2 here, and going up for 3, 4 and 5. So holding CBA is good. And let's move over to the resource sector. Now China, this is China's iron ore here. Now they've had Labor Day from the 1st to the 5th, so they'll be back today. So we'll probably see a bit of a gap in the market, hopefully to the upside for those guys. And we can look at copper, which hasn't really move. We've got wave 3 and 4 here, and we've got 1 and 2 going up for wave 3 and 4 and 5 here. So we've got a fair way to move up. But as I mentioned, approaching here, you know, we're not going to be going far. We're going to be up, and we're going to be down and up and down and up and down. But yeah, anyway, we'll just track it through. Sometimes it moves fast and sometimes it doesn't. So yeah, we're just going to take that as it comes. but bullish all the same. So copper stocks are good. And we also looked at, I think it was the weekly yesterday or the monthly. So this is just the here. So we're looking at this as wave 1 and 2 as the primary count, and then we're heading up for wave 3 here, and then wave 4 and wave 5. So with the daily chart that we look at, we're looking from here, from wave 2 here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 in orange, and going up for wave 5 to make wave 3 here. So just to go back and put that in perspective here, wasn't the hourly chart or daily chart? No, it's 4-hour chart. Yep. Okay, so that wave 3 there, that's the one that we're looking at back in on the monthly chart. So yeah, just I'll go back again to that. Was it monthly or weekly? Yeah, weekly. So yeah, this wave 3 that we're just talking about here, this is at 10,000 here now. So we want to see that up here somewhere, then a wave 4, then a wave 5. So you can kind of get to see, you know, how, you know, there's a long way to go in copper, put it that way. So we're in this bullish trend and still a long way to go. Check on crude. Still could be the B wave there, but now what we do have here is we have really the first high above the level there, so that creates the sort of long trade here, looking for support on that now, but I won't go into that. Those charts are on our website anyway. So we're going to have a look at stock next. So I want to have a look at US BHP, and the reason for that is because it's easier to count these moves here than it is with the Australian BHP, but we can put them in the same boat. So what I've done here, I've just lifted all this up 1 degree. We're using these blue ones and these ones. Now I've lifted it up to green here, but 1 and 2 here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for the third wave, fourth wave here, and then going up for the fifth wave here. Now I'll need to readjust these again because we're going to be going above the 80 here. So yeah, we can look for a classic trading levels pattern here. If you're long in US BHP, you probably want to think about taking some money off anywhere between 78 and 80 in here. And with that, we can go to the Australian BHP, and we could put this, if we were going to label them the same, then we can put this here. And then looking for wave 5 up here. So taking profit or a percentage up at 50 is okay. If you're a longer term holder like myself, then you know, no need to worry about it. But in the bigger picture, we'll have a look at the 50 next week here, and look at the bigger picture for BHP and what we can expect at the 50. I mean, it's a major level. We've been here before. We've reacted. So we've had the arrival, we've had the reaction, and we're looking for the first high above the level up here somewhere, and then another ABC pattern there. So we're going to spend some time here for this, but we'll look at all of that next week. And we've got Fortescue next, which is buzzing along okay. So I've also changed the labeling on some of this a little bit. I'm looking at this here, these 5 waves here as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as 1 and 2 here. I know there's problems with that. This wave 4 here overlaps wave 1, but I'll just leave it here for the time being because this move here as the third of a third has moved really quite nicely. So it kind of suits what's going on, but we can make adjustments. But the main point here is that we understood that the market would have problems at the 50 and the 61.8%, which is also at 23. Probably doesn't sound that very important, but it's the top of group 1. So finding taking support on this level here will sever any ties with the 20 here, and we could start looking at 25 at that point. Looking at the wave count up here, we could look at it as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave finishing up here as well. So give that some consideration if you wanted to lock in a bit of profit at that point. But we'll just watch this move a little bit higher. We're looking for 5 waves to take us up here a little bit higher here. How far will that extend? And I may need to come back and do some work in here. I'm happy with this wave 1 and 2 here, and I just want to see a nice long wave 3 to come into play, and that will probably be at the level there. We'll just see how this travels. Might have to adjust it a little bit, but we'll just sit there for the time being. And with Rio as well, I've adjusted this a little bit as well, this count. I'm a little bit happier with it, not totally happy. It still needs to sit in my mind right, this count. But the thing I like about this though is that this is the strongest move here. So it's suitable to be the third of the third here for this move, you know. So I'll just leave that for the time being. I don't really get 5 waves between these two here, so that's a bit of an issue, but I'll pull that apart. I think I can see the extra wave there, but it's rather small, which would be just this one here. So a few problems in there, but we'll get there. But I can still see that we've got further to move to the upside. So 128, 130 we'll be looking at up there. We need to take that top out. Double tops are never the end of the run, so we'll be above that. But we can expect to be looking at some sort of classic trading levels pattern here in this space. But anyway, we'll get to that one too. We'll look at the bigger pictures for all of these next week. Oh, I didn't look at the Australian dollar, so I need to do that. Where are we with that? Here. So just on the 4-hour chart, we know we've got wave 3 here with an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here. And looking at this as 1 and 2, and 1, and then an A and a B, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the C wave. I know that we overlap on 1 and 4 here again. I also understand that this wave 2 here is rather humongous for the length of wave 1 here, so that's a bit of a problem as well. Can we count all of this as corrective? Yeah, we could be going into some sort of triangle pattern here with all of this, so there's a few things that could be occurring. So we could look at some sort of triangle pattern coming into play here for this. I'm not quite sure yet, but I'll just stay with this count here until proven otherwise, you know. But yeah, it's you know, something's not quite right here. Okay, so I'll leave it at that. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.